I think, first of all, the trade war or the tariff war is the wrong war to fight. It's the wrong war for the United States as well as for China. And no one, either China or the United States, can win the trade war. Now, secondly, for President Trump or his close confidants or advisors in Washington to expect that the trade war or the tariff war can force China to kneel down and kowtow to the United States is completely indulging in fantasy. China will not surrender to the United States as far as the trade war is concerned. As a matter of fact, there is a sense of determination in Beijing that it is the United States that need to have an end of the trade war now, mostly because of domestic political considerations for President Trump. And China is in no sense of urgency for a quick wrap-up of the trade war. It's the wrong war, and the tariffs are not paid by China. It's completely contrary to what President Trump has been claiming as being declaring to the American people. The tariffs, let's be very honest, are paid by the American consumers and the American companies. It will be a huge drag on the productivity in the United States. China will pay a lot of collateral damages, for example, forced closure of companies and relocation of some capacities out of China. But given China's size and the magnitude, these disruptions, painful as they are, will not be the end of the world. Therefore, my concern is that there is still no realization in Washington that the trade war, philosophically speaking, is wrong. It's wrong for the United States as well as the wrong war for China. The sooner China and the United States can put this behind us, the better. So we can only appeal to the sanity and the wisdom of the decision makers in the United States, but to expect China to kneel down and kowtow to the United States because of the trade war, it's completely fantasy.
Having said that, Victor, I mean, there are issues that do need to be addressed in this market, and I think all companies that operate here, whether they're domestic or foreign, recognize that there are tremendous challenges, not only with the regulatory uncertainty that we see here around issues of IP treatment, market access, access to capital, and so on and so forth. So if this isn't the right war, what is the right way to stimulate the changes that need to happen in this marketplace to make sure that if I am a French company selling something that competes with a Chinese company that's selling something, I know I'm going to get a level playing field and equal market access and fair treatment by the regulators and the courts?
Yes, indeed. I always think about China's opening to the outside world as a motion picture rather than a static picture. If you look at it as a static picture, you can always find the grievances and complaints because China is not a perfect country. There are lots of imperfections in China. But if you look at the 41 years in the past, on a gradual basis, on a motion basis, for example, China is improving. China is opening up. And one good piece of news for the financial institutions is that there will be complete opening up in the financial sector already starting, and foreign companies, insurance companies, brokerage, banks, etc., you name it, can hold up to 100% of the equity stake. So in a sense, the financial sector in China will be completely opened up. So much the better for all of us. I used to work for Morgan Stanley, for example, and I know how MSCI is important for Chinese companies. The fact that your company is included or not included in MSCI is a major determining factor for your valuation. So I think the more China is opened up, the better. Of course, there are Chinese problems, of course, but I think it requires all of us to pool our resources and efforts together to solve these problems, rather than, for example, to threaten to walk away from the China market. No company, in my best judgment, can survive if they walk away from the Chinese market. The Chinese consumers market is already the largest market in the world. So I don't think President Trump is really talking the truth when he says there should be, bifurcation or de-link between China and the United States. If it is to be achieved, it will be the business suicide for American business.